Okay, I might be taking the long way home. We got a lot to talk about. Holy shit. Let me get out of this parking lot alive here first. Wow. I don't know how the hell that happened. I don't know how we won. We were dead. I was sitting there I was in my seat, slumped, just depressed for basically once it got to be 24-14, I think it was still the third quarter. I'm just slumped in the seat, depressed, like, it's miserable. We're gonna lose this fucking game to the Lions, and we've got all these obvious problems with the team that I don't understand, and I'm gonna have to hear all the toxicity from the fan base and the media, and a lot of it will be directed at the quarterback, and it's kind of the same old shit. And there's even this like groundswell of, why did we get rid of Zimmer? That's been bubbling up for the last week, and it all gets wiped away because Kirk did it again. He saved this fucking team's ass again, as he's done so many fucking times, with very little credit most of the time. And not just him. We got to give an assist. A big assist today. Big thank you to Dan Campbell. Why the fuck did he go for that last field goal? I didn't understand that at all. I don't know how many fucking times today. Boy, I'm dropping F-bombs a lot. I'm always excited when I drop F-bombs. I think that's the thing. They went for how many fourth downs today? They converted at least, I think, 4 or 5. We did get them. We did stop them one, obviously, a couple of times. But like that was so dumb. Like you're up 3. There was a minute and something left. I assumed they were going for it, and then and then they called the timeout, and then they changed their mind and decided to go for the field goal, which was stupid because that doesn't help you. And anyone will tell you don't need analytics to tell you that you go for a field goal in that spot. Best case scenario is you have a 6-point lead, but you're still giving them the ball back with a minute and 15, minute 20, whatever it was. Worst case scenario is what happened. You missed the kick. Well, I guess worst case scenario would have been a blocked field goal or something returned. But worst case scenario is you miss the kick and give them a short field, a much shorter field, and with momentum. And that's what happened. And he missed the kick, and Kirk got it done. And it was so fast. It was quick. It didn't take. We got it back with like a minute 15 or whatever, and he hit KJ with like 45 seconds left. It was so fast. It was like one incompletion, then we hit a big one to KJ, and then the touchdown to KJ, and it was so fast. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. Not that it's like, oh my God, how could we win this game? But we were dead. This was for probably 75% of this game. The Vikings were bad. They were bad. And there were boos raining down at the Palace today, and they were deserved because they were bad. The defense was really, really terrible at a lot of points in this game, and and the offense, I assume I'm sitting there depressed, miserable, as we're entering the fourth quarter, and I'm like, boy, I'm going to be really, really depressed doing this exact video that I'm doing right now, because it was not only going to be a bad just to lose, but you're losing in an ugly fashion, and you got problems that are popping up for the second straight game, or hell, even third straight game if you count some of the offensive struggles against Green Bay the second half. But it doesn't matter anymore. It gets wiped away, and that's the great thing. That's the great thing about if you make a late comeback, and we've had it done to us, and we've had it done, and we've done this before where we've made the comeback. It's, if you put that W up there, you kind of can, not that you can ignore everything that was bad, but you kind of don't care a little bit. there's so many things. There are a lot of things that I think are puzzling and wrong with this team at the moment, but I kind of don't care in the moment because we're 2-1 and we just had a thrilling comeback win. Probably the most, certainly one of the most, thrilling comeback wins we've had, or wins period, in a long time. That place was reaching, Minneapolis Miracle levels of pandemonium there at the end. It's not at that level, but it's certainly at least on the level of, the Denver game from a few years ago, and there have been a couple others, but we got away with one. There's no doubt about it. More of this game, we played poorly, and Detroit played well than the other way around. Like that, there's no question about that. And I know people are going to be like, well, it's just the Lions, so they'll denigrate Kirk doing what he does. But, like that, you don't have to apologize. I saw the Chiefs went to Indianapolis and got beat. You don't have to apologize for getting wins. You just don't. And this was so huge. This was so huge to make this comeback and get this win. Because you're going to get another division win. You're going to stay in first place no matter what happens with other games. I think the Bears won, and I don't know what Green Bay will do. I think I picked Green Bay to win their game, but it doesn't matter. Like you're still gonna be at the top. Going to London to play the Saints, who got beat, I think. And there's a lot to work on. I might as well start. Like chaotic rant over. Let's get into some of the nuts and bolts of it. Like the defense I don't understand this defense at all. Because I'm not taking the freeway home. I need to take side streets home because I got a lot to say. Like I don't get it. It was kind of the same shit that we saw against the Eagles. Nope. We're somehow managing to never pressure the quarterback and never cover receivers. Like again, Goff had just all day. He had all day to throw, and he had every receiver open that he could have possibly wanted, and we're just letting it happen. And I didn't get it. I didn't get why there really wasn't an adjustment against Philly. There wasn't much of one today. Now, just as with last week, last week we didn't give up a point in the second half. Today we only gave up 10. So I guess you could say it was a little better. Obviously we did make the stop. We did make a couple of stops that we needed to make. But I don't get why we're just leaving these guys open, and somehow we're not getting home. We almost got a couple sacks, and we did get a pressure on Goff on the last play where he did get picked by Metellus to end the game, and that probably doesn't happen that way if we don't get pressure on him and hound him a little bit. But I don't believe we had an actual sack today. In fact, I'm pretty sure that we didn't. Hell, we even got a couple sacks on Hurts. We didn't get any on Goff. Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand why the defense is being set up this way. They're almost being set up to fail in so many spots because, and I'm not saying that we would have a great defense anyway, but we're not doing. The last two games, we are not doing what we did against Green Bay, and I don't get it. And obviously, you're going to change based on opponents and things, but I don't know why we don't do, like, just structurally and scheme-wise, I don't know why we don't kind of try to keep doing what works. Because, like, we got carved up by Jalen Hurts, we got carved up by Jared Goff most of this game. Like, that's gonna fucking happen against everybody. We're gonna play, I guess, Jameis Winston next week. We're gonna get carved up by him too. We might get carved up by Justin Fields in 2 weeks. I don't like this isn't sustainable for for 17 games, and I don't. But there hasn't been much change to it. 2 weeks, and obviously, I'm sure Harrison Smith was out with the concussion. I'm sure that made some difference in how they were doing things, but it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. But we did make a couple plays. Kendricks had a big one of the fourth down stops, got him. We stopped him on, obviously on the last drive that they had when they missed the field goal. I mean, you give up a first down in that spot, it's completely over. So we did at least stop them. Of course, we were even like these fourth down things. They were going for it because we kept making the fourth downs short. It was all like 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 4. Like, it makes it really easy, especially depending on where you are on the field, to go for these fourth downs. And then Campbell doesn't go for one that was pretty obvious, because if Campbell goes for that one at the end and they make it, which odds are they probably would have converted that. I'm standing there. I wasn't sitting at that point. I'm standing there thinking they're going to go for this and convert it, and that will be the game, and then they can just kneel it out and run out the clock. And I'm sure that all the Detroit people are saying that right now too. Is if we had gone for this and converted, the game is over right there. You kick a field goal, even if they make the field goal, the game isn't over. And hell, we scored so fast, maybe we would have scored anyway. Of course, then they would have only needed a field goal. So, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, this defense, they got issues. And I wasn't expecting them to be great by any means. I knew Green Bay game had a lot of fluke to it. I don't understand. I don't understand how Green Bay didn't just riddle us, but yeah, there's no one to really say anything good about on defense other than Kendricks making some play. Hicks made a couple of stops, I think. And Metellus dropped the one pick that would have ended the game, and obviously at that point you're like, oh god, that'll be the play. We didn't make that one final play on defense to steal it, and then they're going to get us. Obviously the one that ended the game was just a fly ball. That was easy, but good for him to be able to do that. And the offense, like, I'm puzzled. There's some puzzling stuff with this offense, man, because I think through 3 games you have to say that the pass protection has been very good. Like, they got Kirk on that one sack today, and people were mad that he didn't do it. Like, that was just the pocket collapsed instantly. There was nowhere to throw. Like, when you watch on TV these things that you can't tell, there's nobody fucking open on that play, and nobody open on a lot of plays. I don't know why receivers aren't getting open, or they're not being schemed to get open. Jefferson, I think I heard he had only like 15 yards for the whole game. Real quiet game for him. They didn't get anything downfield for him. Irv Smith dropped another pass. That was a big play. It wasn't a touchdown this time, but it would have been a big play. We had a couple other drops. I don't know why guys are dropping passes. Like, even when we're getting stuff open and the passes are getting dropped, I don't understand it. Thielen got going a little bit. He got the touchdown. I think that was the one that tied the game, or no, that was the one that got him on the board. And even that was just like a 1-yarder, but they got a guy. It was like, hey, we actually ran a play that got a receiver open, and you can't, 100% of your throws can't always beat open receivers, but we're not catching any contested balls either. There were 1 or 2 with Jefferson today that should have been caught probably and weren't, and it's baffling that coming off of week 1 where Jefferson is just open all the time, and these last 2 games have really been like terrible for him. But we got Thielen going a little bit. Obviously, Osborne made the 2 big ones at the end. We got a couple of the other tight ends in there. Ellefson had a couple catches, and Munt got in there. We waited for Irv Smith, and it's like, oh, he's actually healthy, we can play. Well, maybe I don't know what's going on there. Maybe he's just the wrong fit for the offense or something. But he's dropping passes too, so I don't know. But yeah, pass protection I think has been pretty good. but we haven't been getting receivers open, and people are yelling at Kirk about it, you know. But it's like it's just not all him. I'm sorry, it's not being a Kirk apologist. There's not you wanted him to just throw the ball when there's nobody to throw it to. Like we saw it at the end. When there's a guy open, he'll throw it, and he'll throw it well. And he did miss one. I think it was the second touchdown in the first half. He'd had Osborne open wide on over the left, and he overthrew pass. So obviously, like he's not sorry, he ain't gonna hit every pass, but but that drive they did end up. Then they went for a fourth down. They went for a fourth down too. Everybody was going for fourth downs today. He had a pass, clutch pass to Thielen, and then they went on and got the touchdown that tied the game up. And then you're like, okay, well, we got it tied up. Hell, they even made an attempt at getting something at the end of the first half, even though they were pinned pretty deep. They actually ran a couple plays, got around midfield. There was probably some shenanigans by Detroit that should have been called for a delay of game, but it would have been like a really long field goal. And Joseph did miss two. He missed. I think they were both they might have both been 56 yards. They were both very long. And people will probably freak out about that. I wasn't going to freak out about that. Like if we had lost by 3 points, people might have brought those up. But I mean, yeah, you want to make them. I'm not gonna rip a guy because he maybe misses a field goal or two that are that long, even inside. Like it's gonna happen. Like maybe do a little better on offense and don't make it. Why does every field goal have to be 56 yards? Yeah, and then they come out in the third quarter, and you're like, okay, they got the ball to start the third quarter. Let's go. And they just go 3 and out. The big issue that was driving me nuts was we're running the ball with Dalvin. We're gashing him. We're gashing him on these runs, and then they go away from it every time. Like, we won't just keep running the ball. And that killed drives throughout really the whole game. Like, and yes, Dalvin fumbled later in the game. That was just completely disheartening because, like, hey, I think we actually ran like 2-3 plays in a row there, and then Dalvin fumbles, and I guess he got hurt, but I guess he's going to be all right. But we'll see how that goes because it's Dalvin. He's got a tinge of Buxton to him. But we go away from the run for reasons that don't make sense to me. Like if it's really working, and it was really working, most of those runs were really effective, and then we just go away from them, and when the passing game is struggling, and I don't know why the passing game is struggling like it is, but that's how it's going. So keep doing what works. Like week 1, Jefferson, you're gonna just keep leaving Jefferson open. Well, okay, we'll just only throw it to him. But so when then keep stalling out with drives, and the defense is not good, and it's 24-14, and it's over. But it wasn't over because we get just enough semi-competence from the defense, and Dan Campbell making a real boneheaded decision, and then we get 2-minute Kirk. And people are going to probably denigrate him. They're probably already denigrating him because, it's just the Lions. Well, you were the ones telling us that the Lions are actually okay. So don't say that, hey, the Lions are kind of legit this year, and then when we beat the Lions, don't turn around and say, well, it's just the Lions. Like, this is another really good win for Kirk, and it ain't all about Kirk. Like, this is, QB wins are not a thing. This is not Kirk won the game. Not all on his own, but for the people who shit on Kirk all the time, it is, because these are the people who believe in QB wins, and this was a huge one for Kirk because, I thought he was genuinely pretty bad against the Eagles. I didn't think he was bad today. He missed the one throw to Osborne that probably would have been a touchdown, but I thought he played pretty well. Like he only took, I think, the one sack. He evaded what pressure there was pretty well. He didn't throw any interceptions. Was careful with the football. But he can't throw to guys who aren't there. And at the end, he was able to throw to guys because they were there. We got just enough of an opportunity, and Kirk came through, and that's what you want, because so many of these NFL games are close. You know, a lot of close games today. There'll be more close games in the afternoon set. And this won't be our last close game of the year. It took till week 3 to have a game that brought this level of anxiety. It seems like the last couple of years we've had just about every one of them has been like this. But you know, he got it done. Like so these people say they want from Kirk is like when things aren't going right, you rise above it and go win the game. And that's what Kirk Cousins did today. He got us this win. He got a huge win. And this is a huge win. Probably didn't deserve the win because they were bad for more of this game than they weren't. But it doesn't matter because you got the win. If you get the win, kind of everything else doesn't matter. Because, you know, we're 2-1. If we were 1-2 and had lost in ugly fashion, everyone would be miserable, and deservedly so. But we didn't lose. We won. We're 2-1. We're going to still be in first place, going to London. We have all these issues still. These issues aren't going away with the defense and with the weirdness with the offense. And, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Dalvin's healthy. Although Madison, you know, got in there and had some good plays today. But, you know, we got issues to work out. But it's like, you know, I don't know who came up with the saying. I've heard it before, heard it many times. First you win, then you get good. And I don't know that the Vikings are a good team yet. Like, they certainly looked like it in week 1. For much of the previous 2 weeks, they sure as hell don't look like it. But, you know, they're 2-1. We have the same record through 3 weeks as the Buffalo Bills. I mean, that's just how it is. Like, we've got the same record as the Bills. And I think the Bills are a juggernaut, but we have the same record. Like, you don't have to apologize for getting wins, you know. So I've pretty much said all I can say. I was so deliriously happy when he got that touchdown, though. I mean, this was Minneapolis Miracle levels of pandemonium, with people just like running around, jumping around. I mean, it wasn't that level of importance, but it was very, very important for this season, and I'm really, really happy that we got this one. And that just in time, Dan Campbell made an absolutely idiotic decision, and Kirk made him pay. And that's what you got to do. Other teams make mistakes, you got to make them pay. Kirk made him pay. He hit KG for the dagger. We kept him out of the end zone after that. We got the win. We're 2-1. And I'm done driving almost, so I'm going to be done here. But, yeah, there's going to be, there's a lot to work on, but you get to work on the things that are wrong with the team right now when you're 2-1 and you've got 2 division wins and you're in first place, and you know, this is good living, good fucking football weekend in Minnesota. Gophers whoop up on Michigan State, and we break the hearts of the pro team in Michigan. Kirk, we got another one, and you know, lots to work on. I still think this team is going to be much better once we get to the latter part of the season, but you pile up those wins now, and you know, you're really going to be sitting pretty once we get to latter part of the season. So I got nothing else to say. Skol Vikes, we got them. Way to go, Kirk.